Welcome, everyone, to the first edition of the KW Downtown Visions podcast. We are here today with Armando Ramirez. He is here to tell his story about how he got into real estate and his vision for his business on who he's going to impact in his community. And y'all, I'm so excited for you to hear this story and hear a little bit about him. It's an amazing individual and somebody that's going to make a huge impact. And so to start, Armando, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into real estate.
So my name is Armando Ramirez. I'm 21 years old, and the main reason why I came into real estate was because, before my accident, I had a collision repair business. I had everything going good for me, and my accident happened, and that's just, it literally changed everything. I had a collision repair business. I was, gonna expand my business to that, or, they offered me a job to paint private jets. And the last option was to do real estate. And I just, something in my heart was always just to do real estate at least sometime in my life,
Yeah.
So, my accident happened, everything changed. I'm in a wheelchair, and just really changed my mindset on everything, because what if that was my last breath, that time frame, what if I didn't accomplish the things I wanted to accomplish, because if I didn't make it that night, I think I wouldn't have been happy with the accomplishments I made. But now, I have a second chance in this life, and I decided to do what I really like to do, or I was curious at first. It took me, I think, a couple months to really pull the trigger onto getting my license. I got my license, and everything was just different from there,
Yeah. And so you were in a tough place. It sounded like the accident that happened, and just for some people who don't know your story, you weren't in a wheelchair before the accident, and that's what brought you into that space. So, like you said, complete life change.
Yeah.
Right, complete lifestyle change, and now you're at this point where you have some entrepreneurial spirit. I'm hearing. And you're wondering where to put it. And real estate is that third option you mentioned. And so talk to us, why was it real estate that you picked? And why didn't you go paint jets or continue running your collision repair business?
So real estate was for me because, my mom was a single mom at the time. I was still talking to my dad, but it wasn't really like my parents were not talking to each other. So I feel like just watching my mom go into apartment to apartment just made me like sad, because I feel like she didn't have the resources to get into real estate. And now she was making good money, it's not like she was not making enough, but she just didn't trust anybody with that process because it's, I understand her. It's going to be one of her biggest purchases in her lifetime, and it's not something to just trust anybody with, it's really building the connection and getting that, showing them what you could do,
Yeah. I hear occasionally with agents that those stories where we've people in our world, in our community, our parents didn't have the same access and opportunity that we do. And so many agents, I love hearing that that's why they get into the business, is to change that landscape for those people, change it so that they have the opportunity, that they're able to get the education or the access to the different information that they need. Because so often that's all that's missing. Right. And hearing that, I want to dive a little deeper into how that's kind of evolved over the last 11 months that you've been here with us, and kind of where is that taking you? What is the vision for your real estate business over the next few years? Who are you helping, and what are you going to do with your business?
I can tell you one thing, Steven, that being a real estate agent is not easy.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not easy, man. I had discipline, but this real estate business that I'm running, it taught me the real discipline on not getting a paycheck for months. Not knowing what to do, had to open another little business that I was doing, and it puts you in a point where you have to push yourself.
Yeah.
You really do, for me, I'm in a wheelchair, but I didn't see that being a problem, just to me was I had to pick up the phone no matter what. People know me how I am. People see me how I am, and I feel like that's what everybody should be doing, because they don't see you, or they don't see you because you're in a wheelchair. They don't see you because you're this. They see you on what your work is. If that makes sense,
Yeah, absolutely. And so going forward a couple of years, what's the business look like? What's the vision to see in 3 years? What are we going to be celebrating about your business?
So one of my big goals for real estate is to become a fix and flipper, where I buy, properties are not good and just flip, fix them and flip them. That's one of my biggest goals in that. And having a successful business, a successful real estate business for me as well.
I love that. So you're getting a lot of learning in right now. And well, you have been getting a lot of learning in. You're doing a lot of doing now. I see you upstairs and I see you making your phone calls, and the habits are in there. And going forward, tell me a little bit about the people that you work with right now and who you're working with in the future.
So all of my clients are basically first-time home buyers.
Okay.
Mostly friends and family, but it's mostly friends right now, where I have buyer agency agreements with, and it's cool because, I pick up my phone, they're like, oh, maybe not right now, it's not a good time and all that, but now when I was calling a couple months before, now they're calling me saying, hey, where do I start? What's the process on this? How can I get started with this process already? And that makes me happy because I feel like those phone calls I made months ago, like months ago, they're catching to me now again, because they saw how I perform and they saw how I'm doing my work and how I'm going to represent them,
Yeah, that consistency goes a long way. When you, especially with first-time home buyers, I find that sometimes they give up on themselves before they even give themselves a chance. And when we go forward and we don't give up, right? We continue to call them and say, hey, when the time's right, we're here for you. When the time's right. And then eventually the time becomes right. Because I know in my mind, when I was a first-time home buyer, I never thought I could buy a home. I didn't think I had the money to. And I was lucky that a good friend of mine was an agent and said, hey, let's just go see. Let's go talk to a lender and see. And then I was like, holy crap, I can buy a house, and bought a house. 5 years later, sold it, made a good amount of money to buy my next house. And that whole story that I was told from that real estate agent at the beginning came true. Right. And that's that dream that we can create for people. And I hear you're doing it right now. You're doing it with these people, getting them back in, committing to them, and truly pouring into these folks. Pouring into your community. And tell us a little bit more about that community. Is there a specific group of people that you're out there trying to serve? I know you work with all kinds of different first-time home buyers, but is there any kind of specific group of people or community that you are looking to serve?
So it's just right now it's with anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future when I do TikTok, I am doing TikToks and all that, but I want to let people know that not just, nothing's impossible.
Yeah.
I want them to know that nothing's impossible.
Tell us more about that. Why is that important to you?
It's important to me because, when I first woke up from the hospital, doctors come in, they told me that I was shot, went through my spinal cord, and I was never going to be able to walk or stand up or do nothing like that,
Wow.
And to this day, I could stand up, I could take a couple steps, of course with a walker, but that just shows me if you put the work, if you put the hard work in and all that, it's possible. Oh. Just with time, because one thing, time is always going to pass. Time is never going to wait for you. It's not going to wait for you. It's not going to wait for me. It's not going to wait for nobody. That's why time is so precious in this life we have, because we don't know when our last breath will be,
You're giving me goosebumps, brother. Giving me goosebumps, man. Thank you so much for sharing all that. I know it's not easy, and boy, what a journey you've made from where you were at before, working in the auto world, and then how you're you're fully into the real estate world now. Tell us where do we find you on TikTok? You mentioned your TikTok. Where do we find you? What's your at?
It's Mondo_303.
Okay, yeah, Mondo_303. That's how we find you on TikTok. Yeah. Wonderful. And so I just wanted to ask one last question and just tell us a little bit about your experience here at KW Downtown.
Oh man, KW Downtown it's been great. It's doing me great. Why? Because I feel like everybody just wants to help everybody. Danny at
Terrazas, yeah.
Danny at Redstone Property, he told me one time, the only disability we have is a broken mindset. And ever since he told me that, that's when it opened my mind.
Yeah.
It opened my mind because I know this disability wasn't holding me back from anything. It's the mindset.
Yeah.
That was holding me back. you know, and after getting that mindset right, it literally like everything.
What a key,
Yeah,
right? He
yeah.
just handed you the key, and it's because that wasn't a scheduled meeting or anything like that, right? That was probably you guys caught each other at the coffee pot and that conversation happened. And, you know, that's the beauty of being around here is there's so much heart.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I feel like here is just so much, you'll find hope for sure here.
Yeah.
It's not just, you'll find, that's all I can say. This office speaks for itself. It really does. You know, it's a really good office.
I love it, man. I love it. So last two pieces. I want you to give us one piece of advice for any first-time home buyer in the market right now or thinking about it. Give us one piece of advice there and one piece of advice for anybody thinking about getting into real estate.
So I feel like with the first-time home buyers or any type of buyers, I feel like just try it. Go with the lender, sit down with the real estate agent and just see what the options are. Because like I said, nothing's impossible. It might take a little bit of time, but it's not going to be impossible.
I love it.
You know?
And for agents and for people thinking about getting into real estate.
And people who are thinking about getting into real estate, I just feel like it's not an easy business. It's really not, you know? And I feel like just making sure people know what you're doing and just building your brand. I think that's where I kind of struggled in the beginning because I wasn't really a, you know, TikToker or, you know, making videos and stuff like that, you know, especially like in the wheelchair. But now I overcame that, and I feel like that's where my business is kind of coming from is because of like social media and stuff like that.
Man, your channel's great. I love the content you're putting out. It's not just home tours, y'all. Like I promise, it's not just like your basic. Here's 1, 2, 3 Main. Armando's doing some really fun content. Go find him on TikTok. Are you anywhere else online? TikTok? Do you have an Instagram?
Instagram.
Where do they find you on Instagram?
Instagram's going to be Mondo_21.
Mondo_21. Well, so Armando, I just want to thank you so much for telling your story a little bit with us today, giving some advice out and sharing your vision for your business. It's truly a pleasure to be in business with agents like you, from brand new to been here for 30 years. You know, we need people just like you with visions like yours. And so we appreciate you. We love having you here. And thanks for doing the podcast with us today.
Thank you.